We'll just kind of get started with our warm up. At my clinic, we rotate through who teaches the classes. If you remember, you were with Alexa at the end of the year, and just wanted to give you a heads up that next week will be my last class for the next several months, because we're going to be rotating, and you'll be with Ashley leading the class. She has taught these before, if you remember her from last year, if you were with us back then, or you may have caught some of those recorded. But we'll be rotating out, and then I will rotate back in next year. And I may sub from time to time too, as we cover for each other. But just want to give you a heads up, so you knew that after next week, if you didn't see my face, that's why. But let's get started with our warm up. Go ahead and scoot all the way to the edge of your chair. Bring your chest up tall. We are going to start with some seated power moves with the hold. So we'll start with our power move where we come down and then stretch back. And we're going to hold it here and take a couple deep breaths. Letting your body sink deeper into that stretch with your exhale. Let's do 5 of those, and we're going to hold it for 5 seconds in that up position. So we'll come down. We'll hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Moving into our power rock, we're going to stretch and hold for this one too. So I'm leaning my elbow down onto my leg. I'm going to reach up and over, and I'm straightening out that same leg as the arm that's reaching. So in this position, look up at your hand, kind of stretch further to the side, and let's hold this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Reset in the middle, and then we'll reach to the other side. And the purpose of this hold is to try to sink deeper into the stretch. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do 4 more in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to move on to our power twist. So for the power twist, we'll start with arms wide, and you're going to turn and clap, but I want you to use your front hand to twist and push your other hand further behind you. So you're trying to get a big stretch through your middle of your back. Then we'll open back in the middle, and then we'll twist and hold for 5 seconds. So twist, try to push your hands further away from the front of your body. So stretch through your spine. Let's do 4 more on each side. So stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 more on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our last power move is our power step. So this, I won't have us hold this one, but I'll just remind you before we go into our flows. And this is that power step where you're taking an exaggerated step out, adding that arm reach with wide fingers, stepping back in and taking that exaggerated step out to the other side. So now that we've kind of prepared our body for movement, let's put those moves together in a flow. So where we're doing 1 power up, 1 power rock, 1 power twist, and 1 power step. On the power moves where we do both sides, we'll do both sides of the flow. So let's do 5 flows in total. I'll demonstrate, or if you're comfortable with it, you can jump right in. We're coming down, right into a power up, power rock, power rock, open, twist, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. You guys got this. All right, let's do 5 of those in total. That was just our practice. I'm down, power up, power rock, open, twist, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. That's 1, down, power up, power rock, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. That's 2, down, up, power rock, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. That's 3, down, up, power rock, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. That's 4, down, up, power rock, open, twist, step out, together, out, together. Good. We are going to mix those in with some sit to stands, but before we go mix the power moves in, let's practice 5 sit to stands with an exaggerated forward lean. So what I notice most often with people who have Parkinson's is your body gets pulled backwards. It's hard to initiate your movement forward enough. So we have to exaggerate it or move further than we think we have to, as you'll hear me talking about with a lot of the moves in general. So we do that sit to stand, really lean forward, bring your shoulders almost all the way to your feet, over your feet, to go further forward to give us momentum to get up. Let's do 5 in a row like that. Really exaggerate that forward lean and stand up. That's 1, forward lean, 2, forward lean, 3, forward lean, 4, do 1 more, and 5. So now that our body's prepped for what that movement feels like with that forward lean during our sit to stand, let's do our power flow with sit to stands. So what I want to do with that is do 1 power up in sitting. We'll do 1 sit to stand. Then we'll come back to sitting and do our next power move. So then we would go into the power rock on each side. You can do these with me. And then we'll go into our sit to stand. Sit to stand. This is kind of like the reset move in between the flow. Then we open up for the twist, power twist, power twist. Go back to our sit to stands. And then our last move is that power step, power step, power step. And then before we go back and repeat the flow, we do another sit to stand. So that's like our reset move in between the separate power moves. So let's start with doing 4 rounds of that. So that means that we'll do 16 sit-to-stands on doing 1 in between each of those power moves, okay? So we'll start with our power up, sit-to-stand, into our power rock, stand up, open for that power twist, stand up, and power step. So that was our first round. We'll sit to stand and then go back to the beginning with our power up. Power up, big forward lean to stand up, power rock, big sit to stand, power twist, stand up, and power step. Stand. So that was 2 rounds. We're going to keep going back to the top. Power up, sit to stand, power rock, sit to stand, power twist, sit to stand, and step. 1 more round, sit to stand, power up, sit to stand, power rock, sit to stand, power twist, sit to stand, and last, power step. We'll finish with 1 more sit to stand. Good work, everybody. Getting the heart rate up a little bit. Let's do 2 more stretches here. Bring your knee up to your chest, and we're gonna hold it here for 10 seconds. You can do some ankle rolls while you're holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we've been practicing straightening our posture already a lot today, but I want to finish with some shoulder blade squeezes. So I'm going to start with my arms all the way out in front of me, and I'm going to do a row, squeezing my elbows back, and then straighten my arms back out. What I want you to pay attention to is that you're not hiking your shoulders as you come back, so that you keep your shoulders low. Let's do 15 shoulder blade squeezes. So start with your arms out in front and squeeze back. 1, 2, so your elbows will stay bent as you bring your elbow straight back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, let's get started with our intervals today. I focus mostly on strengthening. So my first, you can watch me as I demo these. You don't have to start with me yet. The first one is going to be a squat side step. So I'm going to get a bend in my knees and hold that bend here while I'm side stepping. So while I'm holding my squat, I'm going to side step at least 3 to 4 steps to the side. Once you have that done, I'm going to have you add alternating jabs. So with my foot that steps, or to be more challenging, with your opposite leg that's stepping, do alternating jabs. So when your foot steps, you either want the same arm and same leg, or you can coordinate so it's the opposite side. But with the leg that steps out and with the leg that steps in, you're going to do a punch. Every time one leg moves, you'll do a coordinated punch with that. So this one is all about timing. So it's trying to coordinate so that your arm and leg can move in sequence. The second exercise we're going to do is a squat with a power twist. So what we'll do for this is I have 2 weights in front of me. I'm going to do 1 squat, and then I'm going to open my arms out wide. Or you don't start with the squat. I'm getting confused. So you'll start in this position, squat, and bring your arm down to your leg. I'll demo a little bit so you can see how I'm reaching. We're combining the two. So I start with my arms wide. I'm going to squat and reach down to bring my opposite arm to foot. Open my arms wide. Squat to bring that hand down to that foot. What I want you to pay attention to is that you're not just bending at your back, but I want you really to sit your hips down and bend your knees like you're starting to sit in a chair. That's what that movement should feel like I'm sitting my hips back. And you don't have to reach your hand all the way to your foot. It's okay if you just get down towards your knee, but it's squatting and doing that opposite side reach. So that's our second exercise. And then our third one is another twist. We're going to do a modified plank. So you can use your chair for this. You can use the back of your couch. You could even do it at your wall. But I'm going to get into a modified plank position, and I'm going to do a power twist. Reaching up and then tucking through. Reaching up and then tucking through. And when you're in your plank, you want to keep your back flat. Make sure that your hips aren't up in the air, but that your body is in one straight line. You don't have to do it propped there. I also mentioned you could do it at a wall. So you could put your hands at a wall and just walk your feet back so that you're doing it here. This is a little bit easier and less pressure on the shoulders. So those are our 3 exercises. I am going to get us set up here with our timer. Two rounds, 1 minute on, 30 seconds off for all of those. Wait for an ad on my timer app. Hold on. All right, so we're starting with that side stepping with alternating jabs. If you are staying in your chair and not standing for this one, you could coordinate your jabs with a forward step or with a side step in your chair, like this. If you're seated, this is your alternative move. All right, so let's get started. I'll turn on my volume so you can hear it when it dings. Okay, so we're coordinating that side stepping, either with the same arm and same leg, or opposite arm and opposite leg. I want you to try to keep a little bend in your knees so that you're holding a squat while you side step. And I'm doing 3 steps to the side because that's all the space I have, but you can go further. You could do 8 steps to the side. Halfway done. Keep it up, 10 seconds to go. All right, 30 seconds to rest. We are going to get set up for our squat with a twist next. You can do this with or without weights. Remember, during this move, as you twist, I want the movement to come from your knees, sitting your hips back, letting your knees bend, not bending at your back. About 5 seconds to get ready. And let's begin. So squatting to reach down towards that opposite foot, opening wide, twisting that opposite hand towards your knee or towards your foot. Remember, your knees should bend like you're sitting down in a chair. Good work, everybody. Really good form. At any time, if your arms start getting tired, you can drop your weights and just do it with your body weight. 20 seconds to go. Three, two, and one. All right, 30 seconds to rest, and then we're gonna get set up for our modified plank with a power twist. You can do this leaning on your chair or your couch, or you can do it leaning on your bed. Just make sure whatever you're using is stable, so it's not gonna move on you. You have 10 seconds to get set up. And let's begin. So power twist, we're reaching up and then thread the needle tuck through. Give a little bit better angle. And you can alternate side to side with this one. Halfway done. Ten seconds to go. And take a break. Good job. We have one more round of each of those. We're gonna go back to our side stepping squat with the alternating jabs. So about 13 seconds, catch your breath, and then we'll get started with round two. All right, let's begin. So get into kind of a mini squat, and you're gonna hold that position while you do your side stepping. Trying to coordinate your jab either with your same side step or your opposite leg. Try to make your arm and leg move at the same time now. Good job. Halfway done. Ten seconds. Good, take a break. 30 seconds to rest. Next, we're doing that squat with a power twist. Two more exercises and then we'll take a longer break. So I'm going to start with my weights, but at any time if you want to drop your weights and just use body weight, that's fine. All right, so let's begin. Start with arms wide. I'm going to sit my hips back like I'm sitting in a chair as I twist to touch towards my ankle. Should be coming from your hips and your knees, not your back. Good work, everybody. Halfway done. 10 seconds to go. All right, 30 seconds to rest. We have one more exercise. This is going to be our modified plank, doing a power twist. And your position is either at the back of your chair or a couch. A counter would work great for this, or a wall. Just make sure whatever you're leaning on isn't going to slip on you. 3 seconds to get ready. All right, let's begin. Twist up and tuck through. Halfway done. Five seconds. And take a break. Good work, everybody. Grab some water, have a seat. I am going to start to demo our next interval set. You do not have to join me yet, but just keep an eye on the camera as I start to demo these. So the first one is going to be a lunge with a chop. So I'm going to first do a lunge. I'm going to do a backward stepping lunge, or I'm going to step and hold. Maybe I'll move this down. So I have one knee up in front, and while I'm holding this lunge, I'm going to do a chop. So I'm going to twist away from my knee and down towards my knee. I'm going to do 5, holding this lunge. After I do 5, I'm going to switch sides, step back, and I'm just holding a mini lunge. I don't have to go too deep, but holding this lunge position while I'm doing my chop. If you need some more support, you can do it with one hand. Hold on to the chair and twist with the other hand. While you're holding that lunge, that's called an isometric, when we hold that position and keep it stable. So that's our first exercise. If you're staying seated in your chair, you will do that chop in sitting, reaching in that one diagonal 5 times, and then the other diagonal 5 times. Our second power move is 3-direction power stepping. We did some of this last week when we were stepping to the colors, except I'm adding more directions. So with our power step, we can step forward, sideways, backwards at an angle. I'm going to have you focus on stepping forward. So we're going to do an exaggerated power step with each foot. Forward, forward, side, side, and back, back. Really focus on lifting your foot up high as you do that. So that's that sequence you're going to do: a forward power step on each side, a sideways power step on each leg, and then a backwards power step on each side. You can do these holding onto something. You have a chair in front of you, and you just may have to do a more angled forward step. You can do these sitting, stepping forward on each foot side, and even kind of stepping behind you from that chair. So those are your modifications. And then our third power move is going to be a walk around the chair. We're kind of just using this chair like our obstacle. And I want you to do a backwards walk in a circle. So I'm going to walk around my chair, going backwards. My emphasis on this is taking big steps. While I do that, I want you to pass your weight around your body. So we're doing two things at once. I'm walking backwards around my chair, and I'm passing this weight around my body. Once I get to the start, I'm going to switch and go the other direction. So this is our third circuit exercise. So a little bit of coordination. I'm not worried about speed with this one, but I want you to try to coordinate those two moves and really keep your steps long as you're doing it. If you need a little bit of support, you could still do the backwards walking and hang on to the chair if you need something to hold on to. So those are our three exercises. Go ahead and stand up, grab your weight for a lunge with a chop. Or if you're seated, you can do the same chop just in that position. Next to your chair if you want some support. Either way is a great option. Looks like most people are up and ready. I am going to get my timer started here. So I'm going to step backwards. I'm going to get into this lunge, and I have 5 chops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then switch. Step backwards into that lunge, and you're going to twist your hands away from your knee in a diagonal pattern. 3. And you go at your own pace. You don't have to match me. After you have 5, switch to the other side. We're going to switch legs and switch the direction that you're doing that chop to. Remember, I can hold on with one hand here if I need a little bit of support. Good work, everybody. All right, take a break. 30 seconds to rest, and then we're doing our 3-direction power set. Forwards on each leg, sideways on each side, and backwards. You have 15 seconds to get set up. You can do this sitting, stepping in those different directions, and you can also hold on to your chair if you want some support. All right, let's begin. So forward on each foot, sideways, lifting your foot high and backwards. And repeat it. And I think I demoed it just reaching with one hand. I switched to 2 apparently. You can do it either way. You can just use the one arm that's stepping, or you can do both. 20 seconds to go. Good work. Our final exercise is going to be that backwards walking around your chair. Make sure you feel safe. You can do it holding onto the chair. We want to focus on big and slow steps rather than quick, short ones. The other piece we're going to add to it is passing that hand weight around your waist while you're walking. So we're working on our coordination, dual tasking. 1 clockwise circle, then 1 counterclockwise. Let's begin. So take your time. Make sure you're moving safely. Hold on if you need some support. Once you have one direction, turn around. Walk the other direction and see if you can pass your weight in the opposite direction. I see big and controlled steps. You guys look great. All right, that's our timer. 30 seconds, and we're going to repeat all of those exercises one more time. And we're going back to the lunge with the chalk. We're going to step backwards and hold a lunge while we do 5 of those diagonal reaches with one hand so that you can hold on, or with 2. All right, let's begin. So step and lunge. Keep that knee out in front of you. 5 diagonal reaches. If you are staying seated, you're going to do the same 5 diagonal reaches, switching directions after 5. Halfway done. Good job. Keep it up. And take a break. Good work, everyone. We're switching to our multi-direction power step. And you can either use one hand, stepping and reaching with the same side, or 2 hands. About 10 seconds before we'll start this next exercise. And let's begin. Make sure you're taking a big step, lifting your foot high. Good work. You can do this sitting also, stepping in these different directions from your chair. Twenty seconds to go. Good, take a break. Last exercise is going to be that backwards walking. You can do it while holding on to your chair or while passing the weight around your waist. 15 seconds before we'll get started with this last exercise. And the focus of this is slow and big steps rather than quick, short ones. Okay, go ahead and begin. Once you get back to the starting position, switch directions that you're walking and change directions that you're bringing that weight around. Lots of dual tasking with this one. All right, that's it for intervals. Nice work. Go ahead and grab some water, and then we're going to get set up on the ground for our power moves where we're laying on our back. If you're staying seated, you already had a refresher of our power moves with our warm up. So I'm going to give everyone one more minute and then we'll meet down on our floor mats to get started with our power moves. All right. So make your way down if you're not there already. Ideally, we want to do these moves without a pillow, just using the mat, because it really helps get more extension through your head. If that is not possible with your body, you can absolutely use a pillow if you need to. If your head won't reach the ground, no big deal. But if you're able to, do this without a pillow so that you can get more extension. I get my speaker here. So we're going to start on our backs today for our power moves. Our first power move, the power up. We're going to be pushing down through our arms and our leg, both legs. So push your chest and hips up off the ground. And the idea with this one is we're trying to use our posture muscles to get more extension through our body to help us stand up straighter when we're walking, doing dishes, all that kind of stuff. So let's go through and start with some power ups. What I would like to do is count, or let's name the months of the year. I want to do it skipping a month. So if I start with January, next one will be March. We'll see how well this goes. And then after we make it through, we'll say them again, then naming the months we missed. So naming the months of the year, every other, okay? And we'll name that as we do a power up. Ready? If you're seated, you're going to do your power up and sitting. Ready? So we'll get started. This is January, March, May, July, September, November. So now let's keep going. Let's start with February and name the months we missed. February, April, June, August, October, and December. I think that worked out. Next, we're going to do the power rock. So you're going to push through one hand to kind of get leverage and reach to the side. So I want to see your hip coming off the mat, like you're getting leverage to reach for something on your nightstand. If you're seated, I'm going to remind you of the power move. You're reaching up and across. This is your power move if you're sitting. Okay? So let's do 20 of these in total, 10 on each side. Let's count backwards by twos from 40. So we'll start with 40, alternating side to side. 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, 30, 28, 26, 24, 22, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Good work. Next is our power twist. We're going to start with arms wide, and you're going to bring one arm across to turn and clap. Open and reset, and then you'll turn and clap to the other side. Let's do 10 of these. Let's count up by 5s for this one. Start at 5, we'll end at 50. Ready? 5, open, 10, open, 15, open, 20, open, 25, open, 30, open, 35, open, 40, open, 45, and 50. All right, our last power move is our power step. So we're going to bend our knees up for this one. And we're going to do this power move with a scoot. So to do this, I'm going to step both feet out to the side. And after I step them out, I'm going to scoot my hips over, like I'm scooting to the middle of the bed. And then I'll step my feet back into the middle, scoot my hips in. And I'll repeat it to the other side. Step both feet out, scoot out, step both feet in, scoot in. So let's do 10 in total. Out and back counts as 1. If you're seated, you can do the same thing, stepping both feet out to the side of your chair and then step both feet in. Ready? I won't have us count fancy because there's enough moving pieces. So step out and scoot out, step in. This is 1. Now to the other side, step out, scoot, step in, 2, out, scoot, in, 3, out, scoot, in, 4, out, scoot, in, 5, out, scoot, in, 6, out, scoot, in, 7, out, scoot, in, 8, out, scoot, in, 9, out, scoot, in, and 10. All right, we are going to stay down on our mats to do some core work today. So the first move we're going to do is using that scoot, using those same muscles, we're going to do a bridge where you're lifting your hips up and holding. While you're holding this, I want you to punch your arms up and down while you're holding this bridge. So if you're seated, your modification is instead of doing a bridge, doing a glute set where you're squeezing your hip muscles, holding your hip muscles tight while you do that arm reach forward and back. So I want us to do 15 of those punches while we're holding that bridge. So the idea is that our core and our hips are helping us stay still while we're doing that arm reach. So go ahead and lift your hips up into a bridge, or if you're seated, do a glute set, squeezing your bottom muscles. And let's reach up and down 15 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and take a break. So now we're gonna brace our deep core muscle. So I want you to think about drawing your belly button in towards your spine, or like if you're zipping up a tight pair of pants, how you have to squeeze that inner stomach muscle. If you're laying in your back, another good way to feel if you've done that is pushing your back flat down into the mat and holding that. So while you're holding that contraction, we're gonna start with a bent knee fall out. So I'm holding this and I'm gonna let one leg fall out to the side and then bring it back in. So one leg is moving out and in. And if you're seated, it's the same idea, keeping your core tight and pushing one knee out and back in. Let's do 10 on one side and then 10 on the other. Really trying to keep our core tight, keep our back pressed down into the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take a break. Now we're going to do that same deep core contraction, pressing down our back and holding it. And I want to do a march with opposite arm and opposite leg while you're holding that core tight. Let's do 30 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Good. One more. We're using that same core contraction. So we're going to tuck and hold. And this time I want you to slide one leg out and one back in. And the idea is trying to keep that core tight or that back contraction tucked in while you do that leg slide. If you're seated, I'm going to give you an option. You can do that leg slide out and in, but it probably will be a bigger challenge to do the same marching that you just did. If you want to make it harder, you can march with the same arm and same leg, trying to keep your posture really still while you do that. So let's do 10 on each side. If you're seated doing the marching, you can alternate. But if you're doing the leg slide, let's do 10 on one side before we switch. So pressing your back down, keeping that tight. Straighten one leg out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's switch sides. If you need to relax out of that deep pelvic tilt, deep core contraction, you can. And then just before you start, press your back down again, squeeze that muscle like you're drawing your belly button towards your spine. And let's do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Take your time sitting back up, and let's come up to our chairs to do some cool down stretches. Find your chair. You can stay seated on the ground and probably do most of these on the ground too if you'd rather stay there. Let's start with the shoulder stretch. So no rush, just join us when you get there. Bring one arm across and we'll pull it close towards you and we'll hold for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Straighten one leg out in front of you. Bend forward at your hips. Hold here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring your leg up across your hip. Put your hand on your thigh and lean forward. You should feel a stretch on the back of your hip. Some people might feel it in their groin if their groin is tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's stretch out our neck. Bring your ear to your shoulder. Gently pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Roll your head to the other side. So whatever ear is towards that shoulder, that same arm is going to gently pull it further. And then this other hand will tuck behind your back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Stretch for the back of your chair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we will finish there today.